morning and welcome to Market Opening on our collab show between Business Today and India Today TV. Just after 9 and we're all set to get you the market opening action. Here's a look at what's hot in the corporate and financial world this morning. A crucial SEBI board meeting this evening, likely to consider as many as 11 proposals. This includes rationalization of IPO disclosure and lock-in norms, relaxed KYC requirements for NRIs, standardized processes for mutual fund onboarding, boosting retail participation in public debt issues, and changes in reporting standards for alternative investment funds. Quick commerce player Zepto set to jump in the IPO arena. Reports say it's likely to file papers for a $500 million public issue next week. Offer is expected to include a fresh issue as well as an offer for sale. The company was valued at $7 billion in the recent funding round. Ola Electric promoter Aabha Bakaya sells a little more than 0.5% stake in the company for 92 crore rupees, money to be used to fully repay a promoter-level loan of 260 crores. The move will also release his previously pledged 4% shares in the company. Ola says there is no dilution of promoter control or change in the long-term conviction. Netflix gains an edge in the race for Warner Brothers Discovery. Reports say the board of Warner Brothers is planning to reject Paramount's hostile bid on concerns over financing. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is also said to have withdrawn from backing Paramount Studios. U.S. stock futures dip on disappointing U.S. jobs report with S&P 500 and Dow down. Energy stocks tumble as oil prices fall. Asian markets mixed and GIFT Nifty indicates a subdued opening for Indian equities. The big breaking this morning, Reserve Bank of India Governor Sanjay Malhotra indicated that India's interest rates are likely to remain low for a long period as per the central bank's forecast. In an interview with newspaper Financial Times, the central bank's latest forecasts have not considered the potential impact of trade agreements currently being negotiated, including those with the US and Europe. Malhotra said if such deals are cemented, it would raise the GDP growth rate. And he told the newspaper at the RBI headquarters that the impact of the US trade deal could be as much as about 0.5 percentage point. That's the big news coming in on the RBI this morning and its commentary on interest rates going forward, keeping in mind, of course, also the completely unknown factor regarding the trade deal. Reserve Bank of India Governor Sanjay Malhotra to the Financial Times indicating that India's interest rates are likely to remain low for a long period as per the central bank's forecast and not considering the potential impact of trade agreements that are currently being negotiated, including those with the US and Europe, saying that such deals, when cemented, would actually raise the GDP growth rate. Malhotra has spoken to the paper at the RBI headquarters, adding that the impact of the US trade deal could be as much as about 0.5 percentage point. Let me also welcome in Shailendra Bhatnagar, Chief Analyst and Editor Markets. This morning, Shail, good to have you with us. We've got RBI commentary coming in this morning. We've also got a mega SEBI meet that's slated for this evening and lots on the agenda, almost 11 points to be discussed. Tell us how important it's going to be. What are the markets going to be watching out for in terms of conclusions from this meet?
Good morning to you, Aabha, and a very warm welcome to everyone. It's a nice sunny Wednesday in Delhi at least, and the sun has started to shine on Dalal Street, 42 points higher on the Nifty, a modest uptick, but we'll discuss this a little later. To focus on SEBI, it's on the total expense ratio for mutual funds. That's the most important thing will be discussed. As we all know, a record inflow of about 30,000 crore rupees in terms of SIPs alone is coming into funds, and the size of the industry has gone up rapidly. What SEBI is trying to do is reduce the costs for long-term investors over the long-term period as far as total expense ratio is concerned. So there are talks that it will be reduced, of course, in conjunction with the industry. The rest of it is administrative. This is the most important thing that we are looking forward to, Aabha, the reduction in TER, so that your mind and all the viewers who put in money in SIPs, more of their money goes into compounding rather than paying the mutual fund. Aabha.
Got it. Okay, thanks for breaking that down for us. Sharad Awasthi also joining us this morning. Sharad, we've got the critical SEBI meet coming in. We've also had a whole host of reforms when it comes to the insurance segment, with the insurance bill also having been passed through yesterday. So we've got a critical reforms that we're eyeing right now. I want to get your perspective on that. Anything you're going to be watching out for from the meeting today?
Yeah, I think in case this cut really does materialize, I think it would be a bit negative for the larger AMCs. But I don't think the discussion till now seems to suggest that anything major is going to happen with respect to the MF commissions. So I don't think that's a very big challenge. But what we are looking at largely is, that some big reforms are being undertaken by the government now. Labor reforms have been undertaken. Now we are talking about, even inverted duty structure being addressed, most probably somewhere around the budget this time. So I think these are very positive developments. We have been hearing about them for quite a long time. Not that the labor reforms are very complete in what the government would have liked to do, but I think it's a good step to start with. It was a difficult thing to touch upon. Farm reforms did fall on their face, but I think the labor reforms and add to that, the inverted duty structure being finally taken care of. I think these are positive steps for the industry as a whole.
All right. What about the insurance bill, hiking insurance and pension FDI capped 100%? We've also had a whole host of other reforms, NPS exit norms eased, withdrawal limit hiked for non-government subscribers, so on and so forth. What did you make of the bill if you've had a chance to take a look at it, and what it'll mean for some of the insurance players, Sharad?
I think NPS is still to take off in a meaningful way in the country. I think with the type of per capita income increase that we expect to see, and with NPS probably being the only option under the new tax regime, I think the more flexible, the more easier you make it as accessible to people, I think it will be much better. And regarding insurance FDI, I think, it's a positive development. We still believe India is a very underpenetrated market in terms of insurance, whether life or general. Maybe general would see more players coming in much faster. That's even better. Because even now, if you look at, the type of penetration we have with respect to insurance, it's still pretty nascent. And with the type of growth we expect in urbanization and per capita income, I think that is something that has leaps and bounds to grow from here. So I would not be very nervous with more people coming in. I think it's a very good development.
All right, fantastic. Okay, we've got some more breaking news on your screen. Silver on the MCX has hit a record high, hitting 2.05 lakh per kilo. Silver has only gone from strength to strength this last year. It's left even gold far behind. And the forecast for the precious metal also continues to be strong. Remember, there's multiple factors. It's not just an investment play, but it's also, it's also a play when it comes to a lot of industrial capacity that uses silver when it comes to semiconductors, when it comes to renewables. So we're seeing silver very high in demand right now. And we've seen a few stocks also running ahead on the back of this, and we'll talk about those in a minute. But this morning, silver and MCX hitting yet another record. Shell?
Yes, Aabha, this is a trade that we've been talking about. This has more got to do with the record low on the rupee. Remember, the rupee is now past 90.9, amongst the weakest currencies in Asia. This is a run towards margin of safety, as also demand for safe haven assets. This is all investment demand. Very few people are making silver jewelry except for me, and this is likely to continue. 2.05 lakh rupees per kilo, 4% higher. It's past $65 an ounce in international markets, and needless to say, a record high.
All right, silver at a record, rupee at a record low, and we'll continue to talk about that as well. Clearly, the trade deal is the big overhang when it comes to the currency at this point of time, but we've got markets opening, marginal uptick coming in. It really looks like we're going to close the year on this quiet note and steady at 26,000, because we've had really no movement in the last couple of weeks, and it continues to be like that, just about quiet at those levels. Let's pull up a bunch of stocks in news to see where some of the action is coming in. Ola Electric, of course, with that promoter stake sale coming in. We've got Axon Nobel in the news this morning as well. Let's pull that one up for you with the promoter Imperial Chemical Industries also selling about 9% via block deal. The deal size is almost 1,200 crore rupees, 1,200, 1,300 crore rupees. So let's pull that up for you as well. That's going to see some action. That's why you're seeing that dip on Axo Nobel this morning. We've got a bunch of brokerage upgrades also coming in. So let's pull those up for you. We've got Nomura on IGL with a buy call. We've got Citi on SBI with a buy call as well. I'm just going to pull them up and see if anything's seeing an uptick this morning. And IGL. So the buy call there is to 230, talking about a benefit from lower tax and transmission tariffs. And DTC transition also nearing completion, supporting volume growth. SBI steady uptick coming in there. They're looking at 1,110 on an SBI. That's Citi on an SBI. And JP Morgan on Orkla in saying overweight, and UBS on Misho also saying buy. Let's pull up a couple of those as well and see what's tracking there. Overall, of course, the larger markets seem to be pretty steady and quiet right now. No major traction coming in there, but we'll pull up some of those other broader market gainers for you and see where some of the action's coming in on the back of news and other triggers. There's Misho for you, up about 8% today. That's a huge move coming in on Misho. UBS saying that it's an asset-light model, negative working capital business model, so ensuring positive cash flows. Those are some of the triggers that UBS is tracking on Misho. NMV is estimated to grow at a 30% CAGR over FY 25-30. Contribution margin and adjusted EBITDA margin reaching 6.8% and 3.2% of NMV by FY 30. 193 on a Misho, they're tracking 220. That stock's looking super exciting. And I want to bring up Shriram Finance also, because it's continued to be one that's been looking really good. I know it's been on Shell's radar as well, and that's up over 2% this morning too. Shell, a couple of these names in the spotlight. What are you making of it?
Well, Aabha, broadly the market has opened flattish. As you said, there's nothing happening. The rupee is now above 91.04. That's worrisome. That will push FIIs to sell further and then bring down the markets after the first 15 minutes of trade. So nothing to look forward to. PSU banks were oversold, so there's buying happening there. Top gainer 0.6% higher as far as the Nifty PSU banking index is concerned. And in terms of all-time highs, I've been pointing out forever, Vedant 574. Remember, clearance, conditional clearance coming in from the NCLT on demerger based on several changes that it has suggested. So this is a runaway rally. National Aluminium, fresh record high. Non-ferrous is doing very well in the markets. And of course, who can forget Hindustan Zinc in terms of top gainers. Hindustan Zinc is India's top producer of silver. Strength coming in 2.25% higher, 580. And of course, looking good is Eicher Motors, looking good is L&T Finance and Shriram Finance, as you've already pointed out. So that's the broader market. Very, very, pointed gains coming in. Broadly, it's on the weaker side. Aabha.
Okay, I just want to also mark IOB, because the government's looking to divest about 3% stake via OFS on December 17th, 18th, base offer 2%, green shoe 1%, floor price about 34 rupees a share. So just a quick look at IOB, and that's why it's down about 3% right now. But I can't get over Misho. Let's just bring that up for you on your screen. It's a new listing. We've got a few buy calls coming in this morning. I've got a UBS buy call here with a target price of 220 rupees a share, and the stock is just on fire. It was up about 8%, just cooled off to about 6%. I want to get your view on this, Sharad. I know it's a recent listing, but look at the excitement when it comes to the markets, when it comes to Misho, and also on a day when we've got a Zepto also filing for IPO. It looks like it's just going to be a lot of room to play for our retail investors when it comes to these new age names.
Yeah, certainly. I think these are very exciting times for them, and the way, fast 10-minute delivery has caught up. I was expecting that to happen, but initially there were a bit of apprehension about whether it will pick up at that pace or not. But I think India as a country needs these kind of services, and Misho caters to a larger mass, which might not be very premium or having a prime kind of, requirement. But there are people who want to experiment with a lot of things. And even now, if you look at it, what is it trading at? I think 6 times EV to sales or 5.8 and 9 times EV to sales. I think the type of growth that they are looking at over the next 2-3 years, as you rightly pointed out, 30-35% at the GMV level. I think it's highly possible, that you would trade at somewhere around 1 year for 1 year forward. Over the next year, you could trade at, 7, 8 times. So that leaves around 20-25% upside from current levels.
What about the rupee? Let's just talk about that for a moment, Sharad, because yesterday we saw a record low and it looks like the pressure is going to continue on the currency right now. In light of that, of course, exports continue to kind of stay a little, exporters continue to stay a little uncertain, no clarity on the trade deal right now. What are you making of the move on the currency, and how would you perhaps anticipate, certain pockets of the market hedging against that?
See, in terms of currency, I think what I'm expecting is that the currency should appreciate, but that is something that I've been expecting for some time now, but nothing happened. I think the index inclusion.
It's only depreciating, Sharad. There's no appreciation happening.
That's what I'm saying. It's only depreciating one way. So it's quite against my view. But what I'm looking at from here is that, maybe FII flows might reverse. That is one thing that has been moving in sync because there is a lot of uncertainty regarding what is happening in Japan. There is a lot of movement on the crypto side also because of some events here and there, some Chinese ban, this, that. So I think a risk on basically is not visible across the board. And what I'm expecting is that once FII flows start happening towards the emerging markets, as there is more clarity that maybe US is not so safe and the valuation discomfort that we had with respect to Asia, India particularly, has gone down. So I'm expecting that to reverse. And that should coincide with the rupee appreciating because that is one factor that's been troubling us. Regarding tariff, I think that's an unmeasurable kind of event. You can't really talk much. But the way exports have come back even this time, and as more and more impact is felt and trade finds a route around tariff, I think probably it will not be such a long-term pain, but yeah, in the short term there could be some pain on that. But I think the current account deficit, etc., is being handled well by the government now. Some segments have started doing well. Russia opens up another opportunity. It may not be as big as people are thinking it to be. So I am expecting the rupee to appreciate from current levels, though in terms of momentum indicators, you would say that nothing is visible right now. But I think quarterly earnings, FII inflows reversing, and probably the government also trying to put in place better FDI norms that should result in the rupee appreciating, and that should be helpful to the markets as well.
Okay, looking up some other gainers, we've got Praj Industries seeing about 2-3% uptake, Shobha Developers, actually fertilizers containing a bit of a move, so Chambal's also up about 2-3%, Deepak Nitrite is up about 2%. We've got Titan back in action today, Vishal Megamart, Natco Pharma has been seeing some amount of consistent activity, Wockhardt seeing a touch of a uptick this morning, so selective there. Minda's continued to see some amount of a move. Godrej Consumers is up today about 1% or so, active in terms of both volume and gains. TVS Motors, so it's not all dull when it comes to the broader markets. I mean, gains may not be runaway, but there is some action. J&K Bank, RBL Bank, some of the other names that are moving this morning. And I'm just pulling up Canara Bank also on that list. So a little bit of the PSB action continuing as well. And of course, finance companies across the board. Metals continue, of course, to lead the way. Shail, what are you tracking?
Well, Aabha, I'm looking at the Bombay Stock Exchange. It's a nice swing trade which is coming back into action. So that is something that viewers can focus on the long side. This is after a fairly strong correction that the stock has started to move up. Let me just give you the basic details as far as BSE is concerned. That is one stock that is on my radar. You've had about 10-11 days of a downtick, and now the stock is looking pretty 1.1% higher. And PSU banks were oversold, so the top four favorites, Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank, Indian Bank, and of course PNB, both for traders and for investors. This is what I'm looking at, Aabha.
All right, that's what's on Shail's list this morning. Moving forward then, Sharad, we've just got maybe a couple of weeks left to the end of year. Doesn't really look like we're going to get a trade deal announcement before January. And then we're also counting down to budget. What do you think the market's going to be focusing on moving forward? Is it going to be a continued reform drive? Is it really all about the trade deal overhang? Or then will we start to focus on earnings?
No, I think the trade deal overhang will be there. The focus will shift to budget. I think the government is also pretty hell bent on, improving the reform structure finally at a different pace. Maybe over the last 1.5 year, the pace wasn't as much as you'd expect from an ND government. So now that comes back with the budget. We expect this budget to have something more than the normal budget. So that helps. Last time around, we had tax cuts. That has helped us. But this time around, this inverted duty structure handling, I think that's more on the part of the taxes that we'll be focusing on. So I think that will be very important to look at. And I think tariff and this order, I think it's very difficult to take a call, the type of, flip flop both sides are playing on. So I think it's very difficult to take a call on whether it will happen or not. But I certainly think that this quarter onwards, the focus will shift into quarterly results. And if the quarterly results are good, I think everything else will take a backseat. And we are expecting quarterly results to be pretty good for Q3.
All right, sounds good. Shara, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We leave it here for now, but do tune in at 3 o'clock for all the action on market closing. Let's see how the day unfolds. Thanks so much for watching. From overnight global cues to live Dalal Street moves, we decode what matters for your money today. From stocks to sectors to the top business news, we've got your morning game plan covered. Watch me, Aabha Bakaya, as I bring you the opening bell action Monday to Fridays, 9:05 a.m. only on India Today.
From how the markets move today to what's setting the stage for tomorrow. From tariffs to taxes, mutual funds to your daily stock queries. Join me as I decode the biggest wealth-creating ideas for you at the closing bell. Watch me as I bring to you the Business Today show every weekday at 3 p.m. only on India Today.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you on Business Today television. It's the middle of the week. Markets are showing signs of life after sustained selling pressure on Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday, of course, was the weekly expiry of the Nifty. Well, some relief, but it's only that much. 53 points higher on the Nifty. 25,900 is where the bulls and bears are battling at the moment. But look at silver. Look at the rupee. So silver now well above 2 lakh rupees a kilo, fresh record high, 4% higher, and the rupee at a fresh low, now starting life beyond 91. This is the fifth day of continuous losses on the rupee, and that's impacting sentiment on the market because FIIs remain net sellers to the extent of about 22,000 crore rupees in December alone. So that's weakness for you. But metals doing very well. PSU banks doing excellently. Canara Bank 2% higher, 150.1. You have strength coming in Bank of India 2% higher, 142. SBI doing pretty well. And from multi-month lows, the Sarkari gas companies, Indraprasth Gas 192, 5% higher. Mahanagar Gas 3.7% higher. That's the strength. Overall, the markets are flat as flat can be. Advanced decline ratios is almost 1:1. 1350 shares in the green versus 1200 in the red. And of the 19 indices that we track, about 11 are in the green. led by the PSU banking index, which was oversold. All-time highs are seen in Shriram Finance, 2% higher. You have National Aluminium about 1% higher, and Vedanta 1% higher. We should be joined by Gaurav Sharma, Associate Vice President, Head of Research at Globe Capital, fairly soon. Let's see whether he's with us or not. Yes, he's getting mic'd up at this point of time. Gaurav ji, namaste. A warm welcome on Business Today Television. A view that you would have on the rupee down for the fifth day.
Namaskar and good morning, Shailendra ji. Thanks for having me on the show today. Yeah, matlab, the rupee is just soaring ahead and depreciating rather in a way. 91 plus levels is what we are seeing. 91 was our in-house expectation for the December month. It has surpassed the same, and things do not seem to be settling down. What we have seen in today's trade is a sharp decline, and I think it should hold on for a while now, because it was quite some of a depreciation that we have seen. It clearly started the journey from as low as 89 odd levels, and a steep run up was seen. That was in just a couple of days, and that was actually having a negative impact on the overall markets as well. Going forward, it is very important to see whether it is hold on to these declining, diminishing levels in today's entire trade, or we see a further round of a counter move coming in, and it once again goes up to settle close to 91 odd levels, because same move have we have witnessed in the past as well. It stayed low for 1 or 2 days and again shot up.
Okay, 9:32. So the first 15 minutes have lapsed, and what we have seen is that the Nifty has been able to hold on to its gains. More importantly, 25,900 is still with the bulls, and you have strength coming into IT. Remember, IT was bashed yesterday, and the strength in IT is because of the record low, because IT is an export oriented sector. Let's look at gainers in the IT index, and you will see strong gains coming into L&T Mindtree, 1% higher. Emphasis adding a percent. TCS, Persistent, Coforge, HCL Tech, all adding between 0.5 to 0.9%. And in terms of helping the Nifty on its way up, it's Infosys and TCS contributing about 7 and 6 points respectively to Nifty's total of 54. SBI, Axis Bank and Eternal plus Reliance are also contributing to the gain. Slipping lower are ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, Kotak, HDFC Life and Trent within the Nifty. In terms of all-time highs, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing much to report except for National Aluminium, but lots of buzz coming into Indraprasth Gas. 6 times the 5-day average, already traded at 190. Gaurav ji, would you have a view on Indraprasth Gas and Mahanagar Gas? Both of them available at 52-week lows.
Yes, they are available at a lower price range. The recent sell-off that we have seen in these gas supplying companies was due to the rise in the gas prices. India still imports, I think, if I'm not wrong, 30 to 25% of its gas, and when a harsher winter is expected in the west, gas prices went up. And that is the reason why we saw a steep fall in the prices of both of these gas suppliers, like IGL and MGL for the matter, as well as the gas producer, that is Gas Authority GAIL. I still don't find much of the interest coming in. I think I'll prefer to stay at the sidelines here, not look at bottom fishing. We'll have to wait for some more time. A consolidation is yet to happen. So one day of bounce, I'll be cautious here.
getting in Aabha.
All right. Let's take a look at some of the other movers then. Gaurav, give me a sense of, where you're perhaps seeing some amount of value buying opportunities at these levels. Would it be in the mid-cap space, given that, that's where maximum pressure has been, or would you see this as a good time to get into some of the heavyweights?
Yeah, hi, morning, Aabha. So, first thing, I find real value in the IT space as of now. I've been talking about it from quite some time now. Whether it is the large cap IT stocks like TCS, HCL Tech Mahindra, or the mid cap IT players, Emphasis, Persistent, and Coforge, we have been suggesting the same to our clients. So, here is a general disclaimer that they may have a position in these stocks. So these are some areas, if considered from a 1.5 years perspective, they can create some good value. So one can keep these stocks in mind. Other than that, any decline within the PSU banking pack, the top four PSU banks, the larger ones only, not the smaller ones, have tremendous value still left. Heading towards 2026, I think this up move will continue. Any decline coming in the NBFC space should be bought for, and also the momentum in the auto space will continue. Therefore, I'll be eyeing at auto ancillaries now because they have not performed as much as the automakers did. So I think they will be gearing up pace in line with the auto players. Therefore, something like a Motherson Sumi Minda Corporation can be considered. They both of them are very good valued companies, and going forward in the coming 2 to 3 quarters, I expect good numbers coming in from these companies.
Seven, ladies and gentlemen. IT, as we've been talking about, is showing signs of strong strength. Look at Persistent, 1% higher, 6337 for you. But the show stealer today is the PSU pack. In particular, PSU banks. State Bank of India 976 showing strength both in volume and in price. BPCL clicking higher. This is looking good. And Canara Bank plus Bank of India. These are high ticket, low beta items showing signs of reversal after 4-5 days of fall. And of course, check in all the boxes in terms of relative valuation being much cheaper than the broader market. So you need to keep an eye out on them as well. Plus Coforge and ICICI Bank. These are two stocks that are in strength. Aabha, what are you watching?
I actually wanted to get your call on Meesho because we saw such a run up on Meesho post listing, and again today, given the spate of new age companies that are coming into the markets, it's tough to ignore them. Gaurav, any view on a Meesho?
See, we have not initiated a coverage report on this stock, therefore I won't be able to pass on a clear view on that. But as you were speaking about the new age companies, we are pretty much bullish on some of them, whether it is Paytm, whether it is Nykaa or Eternal. So we have been focusing on these areas and recommending the same to our clients as well. We remain bullish on all the three stocks, and we expect going ahead that these companies will continue on the growth path, and quarter on quarter recovery and good moves will be seen.
(9:39), ladies and gentlemen. Let's focus on the 2 lakh kilo elephant in the room, and that's silver, and silver all the way. Aabha, very strong breakout happening in silver Bs and ETFs of all kinds. So all those investors really enjoying this nice uptick. Look at Hindustan Zinc, as I've been pointing out for many days altogether. This is the best equity proxy if you want to silver. At 580, we are looking at an all-time high of, we are looking at a 52-week high of August 2024. So very strong breakout that is happening, driven by the underlying metal doing extremely well. And of course, Hindustan Zinc is also the group company of the Vedanta Group, the cash cow, the mothership, and therefore very strong financials and very strong tailwinds. Gauravji, a view on Hindustan Zinc?
whatever we say, I think it will be less for it now. A very smart mover, silver has created a complete U-turn for this stock. Otherwise, it was clearly lying low, waiting for a breakout to happen. What we have seen in a tremendous up move, this being the largest silver producer, is completely pairing up with it. As we speak, about 20% of gains registered in this December month itself. And there is more to go. 600 and 675 is already on the card, and I see it happening in the next couple of weeks itself. I won't be surprised that in December month, this stock surpasses 600, 625 zone.
Okay, that's on Hindustan Zinc. Just taking a look at, where else we're at in the markets. From the financial pocket, is it the private sector, public sector, PSBs are buzzing again? Or would it be the, financials, for example, a Shriram, L&T, and a whole host of these that are catching your eye, Gaurav?
Shriram Finance is my all-time favorite.
Okay.
So we have been just suggesting our clients to, take positions in the stock, hold on to it, keep a trailing stop loss. Now, when we talk about L&T Finance, as we've just spoken, it is into a consolidation phase at higher levels, which is a very good sign. After a steep up move, which was witnessed in the I think first week of November, where the stock rallied from 270 to all the way went past 300 odd mark. It is just consolidation around the 300 level mark. I think anytime we would see a breakout in this stock, and another 10-15% move can be witnessed thereafter, because that's the general nature what I've seen in this chart. It consolidates and it moves up. It is a clear one-way run-up seen from all the way from 130 to 300 plus levels now, and we expect this to continue as well.
Marking the rupee, ladies and gentlemen, finally, it seems that the RBI has stepped in and sold a significant amount of dollars. What you see is a very sharp appreciation intraday that's come into the currency. Let's see how long it lasts. So what is the rupee doing? Well, it's up 0.5% versus the dollar. At the moment, after 4 successive days of falling, you see the rupee now hitting a high of 89.97. Remember, early morning it was above 91.07. So selling by RBI in terms of dollars, that provides relief intraday to both exporters and importers, and more importantly, it provides relief to the markets, because it sort of gives FIs a leeway not to sell, just looking at the currency. So this is a major relief, and it is reflecting very sharply on metals, which is a global liquidity play. So look at National Aluminium, look at Hindalco, and of course we've just discussed Hindustan Zinc. So a positive emanating from the currency market for the equity space. In terms of volume, well, Akzo Nobel large block deal, it's the top traded counter, 2,582 traded. Polycab down 3.5%. Misho up 8.5%. Strength in Vedanta, strength in Bharti Airtel, and of course Hindustan Zinc, Silver Bees, Shriram Finance. These are the few bright spots in an otherwise dull flat market on Wednesday. Aabha.
All right. I think, any closing comments, Gaurav, in terms of year-end picks that you want to leave us with? I know that Shriram Finance on your radar. I know some of those auto names. Anything else you want to leave us with as we are heading into the end of the year?
As we head towards the end of the year, it's been a very much tipsy top kind of an year, where it started the year with the announcement of Donald Trump taking oath, and a steep decline in IT stocks, and ambiguity was there that completely overshadowed the entire, the whatever the growth was coming in. And what we have witnessed in this year was a completely dull, a sideways, lackluster kind of move. Going into 2026, we firmly believe that it will be much better than what we have seen in 2025. There will be a lot of improvements. Trade deal will be finalized Uh, if not in 2025, it will be finalized certainly in the first half of 2026. We step into budget, so there will be volatility, and it will all be for the good. Therefore, PSU banking, auto ancillary, NBFC packs remain our first priorities. IT as a contra bet is good for a long-term investment bet, 1.5 years. I think IT is the best and the sweetest and probably the safest point to be in, because the worst is probably behind us. Whatever we would see, whatever negotiations, wherever they end and settle, I think it will be for the good only.
All right, Gaurav, thanks so much. And yes, I'm glad you brought the focus back to IT because I don't think we can ignore it with all that's going on in the background. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We'll leave it there for now. We'll be back with more action at 10 o'clock.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.